seconds and counting.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Collision Entertainment video. Today we're going to kind of just preview the Texans' upcoming game against the Carolina Panthers and just some maybe things to look out for with this game upcoming and, you know, the showdown between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I think that's what we'll kind of talk about first. So I did see this is the first game in modern NFL history where the top three picks are going to face off in a game. This game was pretty hyped up, but, you know, it's kind of disappointing now because the Panthers are pretty bad. You know, Bryce has been okay this year, not great or anything. CJ Stroud has definitely been better. Just kind of looking at it, I mean, there's just not that much to be excited about when you're with Carolina. I mean, they don't have a ton of talent at really any position, it feels like. The receiver room's pretty weak. Their corners are pretty weak. They don't have a great receiver. I mean, there's just not a ton to really like about that team. But hopefully going forward, I do like Bryce, and I hope Bryce is good. Hopefully going forward, that improves for them. But obviously, just so far at least, they're definitely regretting not taking CJ Stroud. Just kind of some of the headlines to look out for too is Brian Burns is questionable for the Panthers. You know, he's been involved in some trade talk, and just we'll see if he ends up playing or not in that game. Some other things for the Texans, Sheldon Rankins, Robert Woods, and Brevin Jordan are all out. Expect to see, you know, Khalil Davis, Kurt Anish, and maybe Hassan Ridgeway, if he's able to go, see those guys fill in for them, or fill in for Rankins. And then for Woods, I'm expecting to see mainly John Mechie and Noah Brown kind of fill in there. Maybe we'll see a little bit of Xavier Hutchinson, but I believe he is also questionable. So we'll see if he's able to go. But more than likely, we'll see those two guys fill in there. Titus Howard is questionable, but I do expect him to play. I think he was fooled today or Friday, whenever this video goes up, but he was fully practicing today, and that is obviously a good sign for his availability. The Texans' offensive line in practice was the exact same as it has been in the last couple of weeks, with Titus at left guard and Fant at right tackle. Let's see what else we got going on. So just kind of looking at the advantages for Houston, I mean, Carolina's offensive line has been very bad. They've struggled really bad this season. They've been one of the worst lines in football, and so we would like to be able to see, you know, Will Anderson, Jonathan Grenard, Malik Collins, Khalil Davis, these guys get some pressure and hopefully get home to Bryce, who's been a quarterback who's gotten sacked a pretty good amount this year. You know, rookie quarterbacks, sometimes they get sacked because they hold on to the ball too long or they try to do too much. You can force turnovers that way, which is kind of what I'm expecting D'Amico to try to do. I think D'Amico's going to try to put pressure on Bryce Young and try to make him maybe get a little flustered, make a mistake here, or, you know, fumble or take a sack, or just put pressure on Bryce to make a ton of plays and process stuff quickly when the receiver room really hasn't been able to create a ton of separation. So you don't have to be too concerned about the one-on-ones. You can kind of leave like Steven Nelson out one-on-one with Adam Thielen and feel okay about it. Some other keys to watch. I expect to see a lot of Blake Cashman again this week. Obviously, he's been so good for the Texans this season. He's been easily their best linebacker, and I don't see that really stopping. I mean, he's been so good for the Texans in coverage and in run support, and so I don't see any reason why he would not continue to get more snaps. Tank Dell is also back this week, which is obviously great. Just super excited to see Tank out there again. Him and Nico seem to be kind of trading off like good games before Tank went down. Like Tank was having a really good game against Atlanta before he got hurt. And, you know, having those two guys out there, your main two weapons, is just massive because it'll open up everything else for guys like Schultz and Noah Brown, Mechie. Those guys will be able to get more openings with Tank and Nico having to be double teamed and, you know, having safety help, linebacker help. Just everything else will open itself up when you have Tank and Nico out there to kind of stretch the field and have defenses concerned about those guys. So, I mean, and The other interesting thing is that Carolina is a really bad team at stopping the run. They're just a bad defensive team in general, but passing wise, they're not as bad. Against the run, they've been really poor all year. And the Texans have not been a great running team, so it'll be interesting to see if this week the Texans are able to get more of the run game going. Maybe they throw in more Devin Singletary, Mike Boone, those guys, to kind of get a different feel of the run game going and see if that'll benefit the Texans' run game. And hopefully the Texans will be able to just be able to control the ground game on both sides of the ball. With, like we said, that the Panthers' offensive line has definitely had their struggles this year, so just dominate the line of scrimmage, and then everything will also open itself up. And the Texans will be able to hit on their play action, which is what they did really well against New Orleans. C.J. Stroud's best numbers against New Orleans were when they went play action, and they were able to hit Noah Brown a couple times, Dalton Schultz, these guys. Um, when they established the run early in the game, it opened up the play action game really well for C.J. Stroud and these guys, especially when you get those crossing routes, and that's what Stroud is really good at throwing, especially over the middle on these digs and these crossers. That's what Stroud really excels with throwing those. That's why we're seeing Dalton Schultz and Nico have such good seasons, because that is what they like to run. They're bigger guys. They can get inside, and they can just kind of body up the defender and just go win at the point of attack. So I think the Texans definitely should be able to take this game. I think if I had to go with the score prediction, I'd say the Texans will win by maybe we'll go like 10. I'd say they'll win 27-17 maybe. Maybe the Panthers will kind of make a run later in the game. The Texans will get up, and then the Panthers kind of tack on some points late. But Texans defense has been playing really well. They just came off their bye week. Just another thing to actually throw in, the Panthers have a new play caller this week, which is going to be interesting, Thomas Brown. But the offense should kind of look similar. I mean, it's the same type of offense that Frank Reich runs, and so it shouldn't change too much. But that's a little note to just kind of throw in there. But obviously, the Texans have the advantage in this one, and they should be able to pull it out. I go 24-14 with my score prediction, and I think the Texans will take this one. Hopefully, we'll take it, and we'll get to 4-3 on the season. Over 500, go into next week feeling good, coming back home against Tampa, and be able to just take advantage of a weaker schedule and a weaker division, and maybe string together some victories and hopefully come away with this division. So that'll be it. I'll see y'all next time. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and just let us know if y'all are enjoying all the Texans content we've been doing lately. And peace.